All right, welcome back. Welcome to Jazz for the People with review number 1. This will be the first review. The album I picked is this 1955 recording of the Chico Hamilton Quintet featuring Buddy Collette. Buddy Collette was a saxophone and woodwind player. On this album, he does the he plays the flute, saxophone, tenor and alto, and clarinet, and he kind of mixes it up throughout the whole album. He's got some really awesome flute in this album that's kind of stands out and different from a lot of other jazz flute that I've heard. It's a really, really cool album. I really like it a lot. You got Chico Hamilton on the drums, Buddy Collette on the woodwinds. You've got, what's his name here? Jim Hall on guitar, Fred Katz on cello, and Carson Smith on the bass. I picked this album up for $10 at a local record store, and I don't regret it at all. It's a really, really cool album. I've listened to it a bunch over the years. It kind of caught my eye. I knew nothing about it. I just was flipping through records, and then this one popped up, and I'm relatively familiar with Chico Hamilton, although a lot of his later stuff. So this was a really pleasant surprise. The stuff that I've heard by Chico is a little more experimental, not just different from this. The Fred Katz on the cello really kind of caught my eye because I haven't really ever seen a jazz album with featuring a cello player. So I was just really curious by that. So like I said, this is a 1955 recording. Side 1 is a studio recording with some really, really cool, exceptional pieces of music on it. It starts off with A Nice Day, which opens up with kind of a really wonderful classical sounding jazz and flute movement. And after, I guess, like 30 seconds, it starts to kick in and swing a little bit with some sort of up-tempo jazz, kind of more what you'd expect to hear. But the beginning of that first little movement is really a beautiful piece of music. The whole song is awesome, but that first little movement is really special. I really liked it a lot. After that, we got Funny Valentines, which I guess is a Rodgers and Hart cover. Another really beautiful piece of music. And then you've got one of my favorites, probably my favorite on the whole album, which is Blue Sands. It kind of starts off with this really cool Chico Hamilton kind of plays this sort of steady drum beat through the whole thing, and the song kicks off with that drum beat. And the song just really inspires a lot of interesting emotions, kind of nostalgic, warm, a little bit lonely, but in a good way. Kind of makes me think of Blue Sands and The Sage. Both kind of make me think of kind of like stargazing on a summer night, or drifting out in the open sea, but not in a bad way. It also kind of makes you think of the desert, sort of. It's got kind of a mystical sort of feel to it. Really, really beautiful. The Sage was featured in Boogie Nights, and kind of starts off with a very kind of nefarious kind of vibe, but rounds out to be a really, really awesome song. And then The Morning After is just kind of a nice little wrap up kind of beat. It's just like a 2-minute long little sort of pretty little song. Side 2 is was recorded live at Harry Rubin's Strollers in Long Beach, California in 1955. So I can only imagine what that must have been like to have been at a little jazz club in the mid 50s on the southern west coast of the United States. I'm sure that was, if you could travel through time, that'd be kind of cool to experience. I would go there, you know. There's a lot of background noise in this live recording. I don't the quality of recording may not be the best, but I didn't mind it. I thought the background noise was kind of cool. There's like obviously clapping after every song. There's some kind of talking that you can hear and clinking glasses and stuff like that. There's also sort of, I don't know if it's the musicians that are interacting through vocals with the music or if it's people in the audience, but there's like some hoots and hollers kind of throughout the album that I think gives it a really endearing kind of quality. The two standout tracks on side 2 for me are probably Spectacular and Buddy Boo. Spectacular's got a really cool little part of the song where it sounds like Fred Katz is plucking his cello alongside Carson Smith's bass, and that was pretty cool to hear. And Buddy Boo is just a really neat song. On the back of the album, he kind of they elaborate on the back of the album as being kind of a song where every musician on the album kind of brings in experience that they've had with other musicians that they played with over the years, and they kind of bring them all together to make that song in a live setting. So it's a fantastic album. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I got it for $10 at my local record store, and really enjoyed it. So go pick this one up at a local record store if you can. Or I know it's on Spotify as well, so I'm sure you could find it. But I would recommend a nice vinyl listen. All right, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by.